teaching you how to make your own replacement mirror for a laser scanning Galvo. As you can see right here, I have my Galvo and the mirror is no longer there. You can see the forked area that the mirror sits in. Okay, first thing, I'll show you one of the mirrors that I've already built. It's a very nice mirror, almost looks like it came from the factory. Very shiny. Put that aside. Where I got my materials. Now, depending on your Galvo speed, if you have a 12, 25, 30 kpps or faster scanner, your materials will change just a little bit. We'll be using something similar to this. This is a platter. It's a ceramic platter coated from a hard drive. There's a couple of hard drives that will work. This is from a 2.5 inch from a laptop. The micro drive and the 1/8 inch drive from an Apple iPod will also work. I use these because it gives me a little bit of range. For example, 12 to 15 kpps scanners, I'll use these thicker ceramic discs, and then as the speed goes up in kpps, I'll use thinner discs. So for the ones that are 30 to 60 kpps, I'll use a very thin ceramic platter from a micro drive. Okay, to get started, you're going to need a few things. After you got your disc that you chose, you're going to need to break it up into pieces. And I'll grab one of the pieces that I've already broke off. It's a little piece like this. It's a very rough piece. And we're going to start our shaping. You're going to need a Dremel tool to do this. I got a Menards knockoff Dremel tool because I have cooked several Dremels. But any rotary tool will work. And we're going to start our shaping. Now, for faster scanning mirrors, you're going to want a smaller scanner mirror to go with it, your scanner. So I'm going to scan it. I'm going to shape it for a 25 kpps scanner. So fairly small, actually, in contrast to what we want. I'm going to start along the edge. I'm just going to break off some of the stuff we're not going to need. So let's see. Sorry, it's going to be a little loud. Alright, so I made it a little smaller. We're going to start our final shaping. Alright, here we go. As you're doing this, take your time. Obviously, it's a very delicate piece of ceramic. Definitely easier than working with glass, though. Alright, so you see here I got my rough shape and size that I wanted. Then what I'll do is I will take some fine sandpaper on the Dremel. These are fine sandpaper discs, and I'll change it around. Now I use the sandpaper discs to get my final edge because the rolling sandpaper wheel here, it gives it a very rough edge, and because of the way the mirror shifts back and forth, it's prone to cracking at high speeds. So what I'll do is I use fine sandpaper wheels to give it a very, very, very smooth edge. I don't know if you can see it or not here on the camera, it probably can't. But there are several micro cracks in the sides where it's been sanded. So what I'll do is I'll give it a very smooth outer surface to prevent cracking or stress lines. Alright, this will leave you with your final shape and your new mirror almost ready to go. After you have this part done, basically all you have to do is kind of dab it clean, dab the dust off with something. And I mean dab because you don't want to directly rub on the surface as long as there's ceramic debris, because that'll end up scratching the coating off the disc. After you've got all the particulate off, you can then use a different segment and you can wipe it. Once again, just be a little careful that there is no particulate from shaping and cutting on your mirror. And then you should end up with a finished product that looks a little bit like this. Well, except cleaner. Okay, after making your new Galvo mirror, you're going to want to clean it off, and then you're going to want to prepare it for mounting. Now, in order to mount it, you have to take one precaution. The precaution is to take a piece of tape and to cover your surfaces of the mirror with said tape. You'll also notice that I have two tabs that I can use to pull off the tape when it's done. It's basically just folded over sections of tape. What this does is it keeps the chemicals in the glue from getting on your mirror and causing mirror disruptions. Also it makes it easier to work with, and then cleans your mirrors once you take the tape off. Alright, how are we going to do this? Now, you have to be very careful not to keep, not to get any glue on the gavel shaft. So it's a very small thing you're going to be working with. And what I usually do is I use super glue. This isn't regular super glue. I've used it quite often with success. Actually, this is Gorilla Glue with the rubber reinforcement, and that makes it a very strong glue to work with. As I said, I used it before, and this is like the best stuff to use, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but it's still really good stuff to use. Alright, on a surface that's disposable, such as an old business card, basically what you're going to do is you're going to dab a little bit of glue on the surface. This basically lets you have a small amount of glue to work with, simply because you don't have to use very much. Now, instead of putting glue directly on the shaft with the dispenser, I use this because it allows me to run the tip of the shaft in the amount of glue here on the surface, thus easier controlling my glue. So I'm going to take the tip here, and I'm going to put a little dab of glue on there like this, on the very surface. And then I'm going to slide my gavel mirror into the slits that are in the shaft of the gavel. Now, while this dries, you can also use the tape to make your fine measurements. You're going to have to make sure that the gavel mirror is perfectly balanced, or as close to perfectly balanced as you can get. And you can tell that also by some of the angles that the mirror is at. So, tell this way. And once the glue dries, carefully remove the tape and do a final clean of the mirror with something like a Q-tip, and you should be good to go. Reinstall your gavel, connect it up, and hopefully if all goes well, you got a working laser scanner again. Enjoy.